Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transports. So here we are. We're going to reassemble the motor on the chassis of refit. Sorry, we've already reassembled the motor. I'm a bit tired, I'm havering. We're going to refit the reassembled motor onto the chassis of the Piko BR64 locomotive. So when we do this, just a second, we get some extra light in here because I don't know what you can see well or not. Maybe a spot of extra light might be. Add that. Okay, that's better. Okay, very well. Right. We're going to reassemble refit the motor to the. And I end up doing these videos in the evening when I'm already tired, so pardon me if I say something in place of something else, if I get a bit bamboozled, but it's been a very tiring day. Okay, so we're going to refit the motor to the chassis, and at the same time we'll lubricate the worm drive. Doing a recap of previous episodes, this is like a soap opera. We have dismantled, taken the motor off, opened the motor, cleaned all the motor. You can see this in previous episodes. I might eventually just put the previous ones in the description box. And I took the base plate out, lubricated all the axles. I put technical petroleum jelly in the axle boxes to be able to get a nice smooth running locomotive, and also to reduce some of the noise, because this is a very noisy locomotive, because it's apparently Piko. They're nylon gears, and generally they say nylon gears don't need lubrication. Yes, I know, true, but it's a noisy locomotive. This is a noisy locomotive because each axle is driven by a gear. You can see in the previous episodes of BR64, Piko BR64. So this locomotive is now a very smooth running locomotive. We'll reassemble, put the motor back on, run it on the 9-volt battery for the moment. Then the final job I'll have to do before reassembling everything, I'll have to lubricate the linkage. All the linkages are going to have to be lubricated. Linkage which I have cleaned, it's clean enough, mate. As I said in previous videos, this locomotive has been weathered, so I'm not going to be cleaning and insisting too much on the connection rods and valve gear because they are acceptable. I might have a wee go with the fiberglass pencil, maybe to remove any oxidation and dirt that might have gathered there in moving parts that go in and out of the pistons. So that might be a useful thing to do now. Okay, I hope I'm not holding that away in mid-air and you're not seeing anything. So we can see here as well. We had various discussions and opinions. I was very pleased by your comments on whether this was a factory weathered locomotive, if it was weathered by a previous owner, if it was just dirt and grime from old age. Oh, there was plenty of dirt and grime on it, don't worry about that. But looking at this, working with this locomotive, I can come to the conclusion that this was weathered by a previous owner, because you can see there are some traces of red paint on the tyres, because prototypically the owner painted all the tyres red, the external part of the tyres red, like in real life German locomotives, whereas before only the wheel centres were in red plastic, the spokes were in red plastic. Okay, so now this locomotive is ready, nice and smooth running. Let's get the motor back on. Okay, so the motor is held together by two screws. There's a screw, there's an upper screw, which is a short screw. There's a lower screw, which is longer. These screws are set into small nuts, which are held in these slots. And this is a very good system because we don't have any self-tapping screws screwing into plastic. We know that self-tapping screws that screw into plastic will eventually not hold anymore, and so this is a very good solution. a very well engineered solution. It's a German locomotive, isn't it? East German is German. We always have to bear in mind that this thing that, that there's even the, I often quote my father-in-law, whose first private car was a Trabant, and he told me, look, Trabant was a German car. It was German, so there's nothing doing. It was a German car, well made, even a bit uncomplicated, some of the solutions. So, so there's none of this thing saying that Eastern European cars, the Trabant was a joke car, or the East German two-stroke. There are reasons. There are specific reasons for the use of two-stroke technology in German cars, in East German cars. I'm not here to talk about that now, but as I am a big Eastern European car enthusiast, I've got quite an extensive collection of models, and I've taken lots of photographs of Eastern European cars. We'll definitely do some videos about them, so that will be a video for another occasion. Okay, otherwise I'm digressing too much from what I should be doing. Righto, so we've got, open the screw, make sure that the nut doesn't fall out, and we just go down here, we turn it around, and I'm just checking, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm checking on my computer some reference photos of when I dismantled the BR75, is it BR75? I remember all these numbers, yes, the BR75, the former Saxon Railways and then French État line armistice locomotive, which has got the exact same chassis but slightly lengthened. So we see here there are these two springs, contact springs here. These have to be caught between the brush holders. So there are no cables, there's no wires in this, there are no clips. It just goes straight in, and with these it pushes down on these spring contacts, and that guarantees perfect electrical conductivity to the locomotive. So we'll just do that. It's a bit awkward to do this thinking about being in camera and not knowing what and not seeing what's happening, but we'll manage to do it, won't we? We have to. I'm looking at my photo to see what I'm doing. Okay, encourage that in there like that, and like that. Okay, that's us down. I'm just holding this in position with my fingers. I need to see where my screw, my hole is. I'm going to help myself with another light to see what I'm doing, because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, very well. I can see where I am. I'm just going to take the screw. I'm trying to see at the same time if you can see what I'm doing as well. Okay, right. Here we are. I'm holding that down so that I'm aligned with the screw, and then I'm just going to, with the screw hole, which is this one, I'm just going to take this, the screw, pop it in using the tweezers, and then I'm going to take the screwdriver and fish around somehow to make sure that it goes, it catches the nut. Is it catching? Is it not catching? It's catching. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So that's the motor refitted to the locomotive chassis. So we're okay. We don't need to tighten. Of course we tighten it. We don't need to tighten it too much. Okay, that's one. Now we can turn that around. Maybe give the top screw a wee twist as well, just a little. Okay. That's very well. And now we'll put a spot of technical petroleum jelly in the worm drive. Maybe I'm blinding you with this thing here, but I had to see what I was doing. Okay, righto. Okay, we'll now take a spot of technical petroleum jelly, which is in the little jar called marked G for grease, and you can see that it's in a tube. I always put some in here. I'll just take it with my bent paper clip. and I'll put some here on the worm drive. That way the worm drive is lubricated, the brass worm drive is lubricated. Let's just take that. We take a blob of this. We don't need to exaggerate, but we really want to we want to lubricate it. Okay. I'm keeping my eye on the, okay. Let's just put some grease on there. We don't want to over lubricate it. In fact, I think that's more than enough. Okay. Righto. We'll just leave that part there, out the road. Right. Now we'll take the battery. Let me check. We have contact here. And we'll just give contact some excess petroleum jelly is being in fact, now we can actually go down on the, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing when I'm doing that, because I think I'm out of camera, of course. What else? What else? I'm trying to be in camera if possible. Yep, I'm in camera. I apologize for these technical issues. So I'm just going down here like that on the wheels with a 9-volt battery, and the locomotive is much quieter than what it was before disassembly. Okay, we can go in both directions. Running very smoothly. Okay, so that's our locomotive back, more or less back in service. Let's do a test run. We'll just do a little test run, and I'm going to make a little test, a wee test track, but now we're just going to use a length rail just to see how it goes up and down on the rails. We can close the grease because we've greased it sufficiently. Let me see if how much excess grease is spewed all over the place in here. Oh, just a spot there and there. So we don't need any excess. It came off. We can actually catch it and just get it, put it back on the worm drive, because that was a worm drive when it spat. Would have been better to do this with a controller, because I could have really moved the motor very slowly with a controller. Instead, you're giving it 9-volt bursts. It would have been better to do it with a controller, but I don't have space to hitch up a controller here. I'm using the 9-volt battery for reasons of space, which is a very good solution. Okay, let's see if we just give that a buzz. Right, let's pop that on the rails. We just stick the 9-volt battery on the rails. Oh, very sensitive, very smooth running. Oh, lovely. Let's see how far it goes when you see it. Okay, let's go the other way. Okay, so that's that done. Bring it back in view. Right, so I've done that, and what could we do? Maybe we should clean have a look with the either do this now or I call it a day. I think I might call it a day right now, not to make things too long. Right, so what we'll do next will be, I'm going to clean in the next video. I'm going to have the fiberglass pencil out, because I have to do I have to clean the front wheels here, the ponies. There's some unremovable dirt, and I'm going to use the fiberglass pencil on them. And here I'll also have a look and see if there's any corrosion and things that have to be cleaned here with the fiberglass pencil. And when I'm working with a fiberglass pencil, I always like to use gloves, and I always have a battery operated vacuum handy to suck up any strands and any rubbish, not to have it lying around. So at that point, that will be the next episode, will be cleaning and lubricating the linkage and connection rods. We'll reinstate the light bulbs, which just fit in here, fit the body, and then the locomotive will be complete again. And of course reassemble the trucks. Yes, definitely. We have to dedicate an episode even to this, because as you can see, this is broken. So I've been looking on internet, on eBay, for a replacement part. I'd like a replacement hook here. I would really like to find it, to be able to have the hook and the eye. The problem is that I didn't find it. I found lots of parts for other locomotives, BR65, etc. I haven't found, oh excuse me, I'm getting sleepy, anything for this one, for the BR75 or BR64. So what I'm going to do, here is where the rear hook is broken. I'll fold with a pair of pliers. I'm going to bend these flat and just let the eye, the coupling eye, go nice and flat down, and we'll run this locomotive hitching up only with the coupling eye, without the hook, which is good enough. I mean, it'll work no problem. That's it. It'll be, unless, and then once I fix this, I might have an idea of maybe doing something to it. I don't know. I might and I might not. I might just come and just use the system of until I manage to get a new part here, which would be the best thing. Okay, that's okay for the moment. And in fact, if I really wanted, these are practically mirror image things. Depends which one I find. This is the front one. The front one only has a hook. It doesn't have the eye, you see. So we'll see. We'll decide. We'll do that in the next video. Right. Very well. So thank you for your kind attention, as usual. As I always say, I say the same things at the end of each video. And if you enjoyed watching this video, of course, you can give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because it's of great help. I'm going to be implementing some other ideas and things to improve this channel, because and also to allow me to produce more content. And when I eventually get that camera sorted, I'll be able to do better content. For the moment, we're still stuck with a mobile phone. So, of course, I'm becoming long-winded here. If you like the video, give us a like to the video. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and click the notification bell. This way, you'll know what's going on. I'm alternating locomotive maintenance videos when I've got time to old archive footage. I put an Italian State Railways E652 locomotive, which I filmed in 2014 and never published today, and so occasionally I put different things in. Very well, cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.